Let me ask you a serious question. You had only 30 days to pass your real estate exam. Could you actually do it? Most people would say no, but I'm here to tell you, yes, you absolutely can. The problem is not that the real estate exam is too hard. The problem is that most students study with no structure. They read randomly, they watch random videos, they panic, and then they walk into the exam unsure. Today I'm going to give you an exact 30-day real estate study plan, and I would follow that if I would have to pass again in 2026. It's not theory, not guesswork, a real system that works. If your goal is to pass on the first try, subscribe now. This channel is for full real estate exam study blueprint. The real estate exam is not designed to trick you. It's designed to qualify you. You don't need to be a genius. You don't need to be amazing at math. I've seen students fail not because they weren't smart, but because they studied without direction. They read the book once and thought they were ready. They avoided math, they didn't do practice exams, or they waited until the last week to start studying. You need about 60 to 90 focused study hours. That's it. 30 days, very doable. So how this plan works, we're going to break this into 4 phases. Think of this like a training for a marathon. You don't just show up and run 26 miles, do you? You train with a plan. Our phase 1 is the foundation. You learn the language of real estate. Phase 2 is the application. Math, contracts, real scenarios. Phase 3, the testing mode, practice exams and weak areas. Phase 4 is the final exam prep. If you work full-time, study 2 hours per day. If you're a part-timer and you have more time, try to study 3 to 4 hours per day. If you're very busy, 1 focused hour daily still works, but stay consistent. Consistency beats cramming every time. Part 3, the foundation. Learn the language of real estate. Week 1 is where most students rush, and that's why they struggle later. You cannot pass this exam if you don't understand the vocabulary. Real estate has its own language. If you don't understand the words, the questions feel confusing, even when they're easy. They wanted 2 property basics. What is real property versus personal property? Real property is the land and what's attached. Personal property is movable. Example, a house, real property. A couch inside, personal property. A built-in oven, real property. A freestanding microwave, personal property. On the exam, they love asking about a chandelier. If it's attached, it's real property. If the seller takes it down, now it's personal property. Day 3, government rights. There are 4 main government rights in real estate. I'll tell my students to remember the acronym PEAT. P, police power. E for eminent domain. T, taxation. And E for escheat. If the government takes land for a highway, that's eminent domain. If property taxes aren't paid, that's a tax lien. If someone dies with no heirs, that's escheat. Day 4, agency. You're representing a seller. What duties do you owe to them? Loyalty, confidentiality, disclosure, accounting, obedience, reasonable care. Memorize these, they always show up. Day 5 to 6, contracts. What makes a contract valid? You need an offer, acceptance, consideration, capacity, and legality. If I offer to sell you my house for $500,000 and you accept, we have a mutual agreement. If one party is a minor, that contract may be voidable. Day 7, review day. No heavy study. Have some coffee, flashcards, vocabulary review. Application of math. Now we move from theory to application. This is where students start feeling like future agents. Here's the truth. Real estate math is not hard. It's just formulas. Commission example. A home sells for $800,000 at 6% commission. That's $800,000 by 6%. That's $48,000. That's it. That's the math. Pause and solve this. A $500,000 home, 5% commission. What's the total commission? Answer, $25,000. Price per square foot. If a home sells for $600,000 with 1,500, that's square foot. That's 600,000 divided by 1,500, that's the exam. The LTV, the loan to value ratio. Loan divided by its price. 400K loan for $500,000 home. That's 80% LTV. Week 3, testing mode. This is where confidence starts building. Week 3 separates students who pass from those who retake the exam. Take first full practice exam. Don't panic if your score is 60%. That's normal. Review wrong answers carefully. And top students don't study more. They review mistakes more. Week 4, the final exam prep. This is your final stretch. You now know vocabulary, you understand math, you have taken practice tests. Now we simulate the exam. Take 2 to 3 full-timed exams. Write formulas daily, commission, LTV, tax, and probation. A light review the last 2 days, no cramming the night before. Sleeping matters. Confidence matters. Test day strategy. When you sit down at the testing center, first thing you do, write on a scratch paper the commission formula, LTV, key vocabulary. Now you don't have to memorize under stress. Read questions slowly, eliminate the wrong answers, flag tough ones, and return later. You only need about 70% to pass, not perfection passing. So in 30 days, your life can completely change. New career, new income, new confidence. The real estate exam is not there to stop you. It's there to qualify you. Follow this 30-day plan and you can pass on the first try. Subscribe for weekly exam review and comment below when your exam is. My name is Ben, I'm a real estate broker and instructor, and I'll see you in the next class. Aloha.